Okay, let me start reading it from the start. The advantages of close-ended question. It says close-ended questions possess various advantages. For example, they are better suited to computer analysis, while open-ended questions tend to lose their originality once they have been quantitatively analyzed. This is a drawback because close-ended
Yes.
questions can be treated very well on SPSS or MOS or some other softwares, but the open-ended questions, they are not so much, because there is element of subjectivity in them, so that's why they are not so much comfortable on for computer analysis. Since the information contained is required to be minimized and encoded, why the open-ended questions are not so much useful on computer programs, because we have to minimize the information and we have to encode it. Encode or minimize means just like we developed the themes from the whole answer. The respondent gave us answers in 5, 6, 10 lines, but we extracted one theme out of those 10 lines. This is the minimize, we squeeze, we shorten the responses, and we encode it. Encode mean we replace the whole passage with one theme. Are you getting it now? Just
Yes.
for
Yes.
our own convenience. This is
Okay.
actually what
Okay.
it's saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could we go to 3.15?
Yeah, let's move to 3.15, brother. Uh, Here I come. Development of themes.
Yes.
So, should I read it or you will read it?
I will read it.
Please go ahead.
Okay. A thematic coding system for interview was developed using the interview summaries as a starting point, which
Yes.
is mean we took all the answers and
Hmm.
summarize it to be suitable for coding.
Exactly. Exactly. This is the meaning of this line.
Okay. Different teams developed from the interview and are discussed in the data analysis section with assistance of an expert.
Yes. Yeah, expert.
Uh,
Yes.
I
Hmm.
I think it will be good in my opinion. It will be nice if we introduce you with me as an expert for SBCC or for this kind of coding. As what do you think?
Exactly. No problem. I'm fully available. I agree with this. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. What is it? Yeah. Um, with the assistance of an expert, the research analysis of data coding according different phases.
Hmm.
All of the interview transfer were coding and themes were developed accordingly.
Hmm.
Following and introducing training section, the two coders. What do you mean by two coders?
Two coders mean two-person who are coding. One will be me, the volunteer, and definitely second one will be you, who is the actual the researcher. You will be the first coder. I will be the assistant coder. You can say.
Okay. Before the final coding of the transfer, the research was assessed in a complaint data by a small number of volunteers. Could you explain this one for me?
Uh, Sorry, your voice was interrupting.
Oh, sorry, sorry. They said the researcher was assessed in complaining the data by the small number of volunteers. It's down a little bit down.
Down.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
The
Okay. Okay.
researcher was assessed
Yes.
in complaining the data by small number of volunteers.
Yeah, it says the researcher was assisted means he was helped in compiling the data by a small number of volunteers. Means we didn't engage so many volunteers. Small number of volunteers means one or two volunteers were there. Like the researcher was assisted in compiling the data. Compiling mean uh, gathering the data, the big data into small meaningful themes. Compile mean to get together. By small number of volunteer means one or two, because one volunteer was me and the second person was you. So we, it's better to say small number of volunteer rather than significantly one volunteer or two. Small number of volunteer also means that if I feel I'm having a problem in coding, maybe I can take help from a third person for only for that particular time. So this is a more realistic realistic sense rather than saying only one volunteer, because maybe I do not know some concepts or some themes I cannot identify properly. So maybe we can use another volunteer for that particular theme. So small number of volunteer, but primarily there were only two participants. One was the researcher and the other coding person was me, the other volunteer.
Okay. The second question was how we could introduce you. We will introduce you, if you like, as a static expert
Yes.
or an SBCC expert to
Yes.
help us to coding and to do the computer things. Because
Yeah.
I will told them I don't have any idea about the computer things, how to dealing with computer and static.
Yeah, no problem. I agree. I agree. I'll be there, brother, inshallah. Yeah. You write it down and then we will move
Yeah.
further.
Okay. Uh, Maybe they will ask while they are discuss what is the main question in the thesis.
What is the main question? Like, what will they ask from us?
No, they will say, okay, what's the purpose if your of your thesis? What's the question that you like you want to answer?
Yeah, they can ask what is the what is your contribution, what is the contribution of your thesis, or how your thesis is beneficial for the policy makers, or what is the contribution you are doing in the literature. So we will say that we are contributing, our thesis is contributing in two ways. Firstly, we are contributing to the literature regarding the privatization process. What is our contribution is that our finding says that the higher level managers, they are normally having positive attitude towards the change in sense of privatization. However, we also contribute that the lower level managers or the supervisory staff, they are less favorable towards the privatization process. So this is a contribution in the literature, as well as we have a practical side of our contribution. The practical side deals with the policymakers and with the executives or the heads of institution. It, our recommendation says that when you are supposed to change the whole mechanism of an organization or company, you should consider the opinion of higher as well as lower level staff. So this is a guideline for policy makers as well. So these are two basically aspects of our contribution of our thesis.
Good.
Yeah, brother.
Okay. Shall we start? Shall we start? Mm,
Our next chapter, because
yep.
these are, yes. Okay, from chapter number 4, just let me stop recording here so that this can be the more,